Most creators ask the wrong questions on their application forms. They're trying to qualify prospects, but the best operators they use application questions as a sales tool that makes prospects close themselves. By the time they hit submit, they're already sold. And here's the exact framework. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Johanna. I work with this. Literally, this is what I do for a living. I build, market, launch and scale info products for content creators who want to reach next levels of financial, locational, and time freedom with their audience. So if you are an expert in your niche, if you're looking to monetize, and you have some type of knowledge that you could teach your audience, then listen up because this information is gonna be super valuable. This is what my whole YouTube channel is about. It is me literally teaching you how to really reach high numbers with your monetization on with your social media and take it to the highest level you could possibly take it to. And yeah, again, as I said, I do this for other people. So if you would rather have someone else do it for you, you can always write to me on my Instagram. It's linked in the description. But yeah, let's get into it. So first off, the psychology behind self-closing questions. The best application questions don't extract information, they create realizations. When a prospect answers a well-crafted question, they articulate their own pain in their own words. This makes the problem feel more real and urgent than any sales pitch ever could. Strategic questions force prospects to measure the distance between where they are and where they want to be. When they write $2,000 a month in the current revenue field and then $30,000 a month in the goal revenue field, they're confronting their own gap. You didn't tell them they're failing, they told themselves. When prospects answer detailed expert level questions about their business or their situation, they subconsciously position you as the authority. They're essentially auditioning for you and not the other way around. And this flips the power dynamic before the call even happens. So, the 7 question categories that pre sell. Also, I forgot to mention this before. This goes for any type of offer. I'm just using kind of like a money making offer because, yeah, as an example, but it works for any type of offer, like all of these questions. First of all, you want to have a question that quantifies their current state, and the question can go like this: what's your average monthly revenue right now? This isn't about qualifying, it's about making them confront their current reality in hard numbers. When they type $800, they feel the weight of that number. Then you want them to define their dream state. The question can go like this: if we could wave a magic wand, what would your monthly income be in 12 months? This creates a vivid mental image of success and makes them emotionally invested in the outcome before you've promised anything. And most likely, your prospect is gonna have tried different solutions in the past that just hasn't worked. So you want to remind them of previous failed attempts to solve their problem or reach their goal. And the question can go like this: what have you already tried that didn't work? This question does three things. Three things, sorry. It validates their past struggles, positions those attempts as incomplete solutions, and creates an opening for your different approach. The information that you receive from these forums as well is really, really, really valuable for your own copy of your info product. So you use it in your video sales letter, landing page, like everywhere you can think of. Use the information you get from these forms as well. So it solves two things: it gives you information, but it also makes them realize their own struggles and why they kind of need your specific solution. Because the thing is, with copy, people think that copy is like having nice words and, I don't know, mentioning the features of the info product, like the course and stuff like that, but it's really, really not. First of all, it's all about selling a transformation, and the best way for the prospect to realize that you have the right solution to their problem is by letting them know that you know exactly what they're going through. Like, you know them, you know what they've tried in the past, why it hasn't worked, you know their pain points, you know their problems, you know how they feel. And if you can show that in your copy, in your video sales letter, in your like landing page and everything like that, in your even like short form videos that you use to post, they're going to trust you way more, and they're automatically gonna think that your solution is the right solution. Copy is literally just psychology. That is all it is, psychology. So use it. Like, use it and watch your conversion rate increase drastically. Now, another question that you want to have is you want to make them type out the cost of inaction. Because, right, like, it might be a cost to taking action, but the cost of not taking action is most likely gonna be higher than taking action. So you want to make them type that out. Let me tell you how a question like that could look like. If nothing changes in the next 6 months, what will that cost you financially and emotionally? This forces them to calculate the real price of staying stuck. When they write, I lose $50,000 in potential income and probably burn out, they're selling themselves on taking action. And again, in your copy and everything, you don't want to tell them, that this is how much you're missing out on and this is why you should buy this, because it just sounds salesy. Okay, no one likes to be sold to. But when you can make them realize that themselves, they are selling themselves. Okay, like, the one of the best video sales letters on YouTube. It has generated over $20 million in sales. Okay, it was partly, it was the video sales letter as well, but it was also in the kind of mechanism it is in that made it possible for it to get so many views and earn so much money. It could have gotten millions and millions of views and not get so good results if it wasn't for the actual copy of the video sales letter. What made that video sales letter work so well is it didn't tell the prospect or the viewer that, hey, this is the best business model to start in like 2023 or whatever year it was. It showed, okay? It wasn't like, hey, you should like start this business model and this and that. It was like, it was literally comparing a bunch of different business models, and by doing that, the viewer themselves could see, oh, the probably the best business model for me to start is this one, because they could see it themselves. So it made them feel like they realized it themselves, which they did with just a little bit of help from the person in the video. It worked so well. Never tell your prospect what the right solution to their problem is. Make them realize it themselves, and that is what you're doing with this question. So another question that you want to have is you want to test their commitment. So the question can go like this: are you prepared to invest X amounts of money and dedicate 5 hours per week for the next 90 days to build this system? This pre-frames the investment and time requirements. If they say yes here, the objection is already handled before the sales call. Just be a little bit careful with this, because you don't want to tell them the price before they know all the value that they can get. Because if you do that, then if the price is high, especially if it's like a high ticket offer, then what can happen is that they just hear the price or see the price, and it kind of blinds them. Like, it's always in the back of their mind, if it's like a high price, so they can't really take in everything else that is being told to them. So they can't really see the value that they're getting, because they're just thinking about the price and the price and the price all the time. So it can literally stop them from moving forward. Even if you have so much value to give and you can really transform their lives, they won't be able to take that in and realize that, because they just think about the price. That's just how we kind of work as humans. But if you want to crush it with offers, you have to make sure that the value that you give is higher than the price. That is always how you gotta structure offers. That is literally offer making 101. Always have the value that you give higher than the price, and it's not gonna be a problem if the price is $2,000, $5,000, even $10,000. It doesn't matter because the value that they get is higher. That is, some people can feel like, oh, how can someone buy something for like $5,000 just like that? Well, because the value that they're getting is worth more than $5,000. So another question that you want to have in your form is kind of like an urgency amplifier. So the question goes like this: why now? What's changed and makes this the right time to finally solve this? This question makes them articulate their own urgency. Again, this ties into them selling themselves. They are literally telling you why they need to start now. And another question that you want to have in a kind of like decision maker qualifier. So it sounds like this: if this is the right fit, are you ready to start within the next 7 days, or are there other people slash factors involved in this decision? This surfaces any hidden decision making obstacles while also creating urgency through the time constraint, because you don't want to hop on a call and speak with the prospects, and then by the end of the call, the prospect is like, "Oh, but I gotta talk with my wife, or I gotta talk with this person." It just creates a lot of friction. It's better to just know it's right off the bat, and then have everyone on the call. So the architecture of the perfect application flow. Start with easy, non-threatening questions like their name, email, like where they live or something like that, like what country. And this builds momentum and gets them in the flow of answering. You're warming them up before hitting them with the heavy psychological questions. Arrange your questions in ascending order of emotional intensity. Start with surface level problems like what's your biggest challenge with making money, or what's your biggest challenge with attracting your husband or attracting your dream wife, and gradually go deeper to like, what does it feel like when you see other people in the space earning way more money than you and succeeding with way less effort than you put in, and really try to make them type out how it feels like, because humans are emotionally driven. We buy with emotion. Each answer primes them for the next, more vulnerable question. Ask the same core question in three different ways throughout the application. First, what's your revenue goal? Later, what would an extra $20,000 a month allow you to do in your life? And finally, what's the real reason you want to hit this number? Each iteration goes deeper, and by the third answer, they've convinced themselves this is critical. Because most often we think that their problem is very like obvious and very like surface level, but it's never surface level. There are different layers to problems always, and a surface level layer could sound like, oh, I want to earn $10,000 a month. But if you go deeper, the real problem isn't earning $10,000 a month. It's maybe it's like they feel a pressure because they feel behind, and they see all these people online earning so much money, so they want to do it themselves too. So they feel this like pressure to not be behind, and maybe even making their parents proud and stuff like that. But if you go a level even deeper, then it might be something else. It might be that they're very wounded and they feel like they have to prove themselves to the world, because they, when they grew up, they felt very small compared to everyone else, that they maybe didn't have much money growing up, and it was always some kind of insecurity. So now they have to feel more worthy by earning more money or something like that. It goes deep, but it is truly, it always goes deep. Like, it's never surface level, and the deeper you can go with your copy, your video sales letter, your page and stuff like that, like sales page, the more touched they are gonna feel, the more understood they are gonna feel, and the more they're gonna think you have the right solution. It's as simple as that. It's literally psychology. It's psychology, and it is research. Research, research your audience. Most of the times they don't even know what their problem stems from in the beginning. If you can understand them more than they understand themselves, they're so into your solution that is gonna help them. super important that your solution actually also helps them. Okay, you don't want to scam anyone. You know what I mean? Like, actually deliver value as well. That is the most important part. If you want to win in any game, is actually give value. End the application with questions that assume they're moving forward. So it could be, what would make this the best decision you've made this year? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to potentially work together? These questions don't ask if they want to work with you. They assume it and ask them to confirm their own excitement. Your application isn't a form, it's a sales tool. The right questions don't just qualify prospects, they create self awareness, amplify urgency, and position you as the only logical solution. By the time they submit, they've already sold themselves. Your sales call is just a formality to confirm what they already know, which is they need to work with you, or they should probably work with you because you have the right solution to their problems. If you're building a creator business and you want to see the exact application template we use with all 23 questions and the psychological breakdown of each one, drop the word application in the comments and I will send it to you, like the full resource. If you found value in this video, don't hesitate to leave a like. Stay tuned for the next one. It's gonna be really, really good as always, with a bunch of juice for you to extract and use in your own business, in your own info products. Do leave a comment on what topics you want me to go deeper into. And yeah, if you would rather have someone else do all the work for you so you can really just focus on content and just free up your time and earn money, kind of like, I'm not gonna say passively because you're still making content, but you're freeing up like 70% of the work. So yeah, if you would rather uh, have that, then don't hesitate to reach out on Instagram, or comment. What word should we use? Comment the word rocket. Yeah, comment the word rocket, and I'll catch you in the next one.